So, ladies, we had this episode sitting in the archives, and we did not want to keep it there.
No way.
Some kind of way, Sybil got it lost in her files.
So here we go at the blame game.
Some kind of way, Sybil got messed up and got it lost in her computer. And this was an episode that we recorded before I had baby Sky.
Absolutely.
But we thought it was absolutely important to share this with you guys. And we listened to it again and absolutely loved it.
We did. So before our beautiful intro music plays, we just want to let you know that this is a throwback episode.
Yes.
And we hope you enjoy it as much as we did listening back through it.
Yeah, it was amazing.
It was.
All right.
All right.
Cool.
Talk to you soon.
Bye, ladies.
Bye. Welcome to the Great Girlfriends podcast, where we discuss life, love, laughter, and everything in between. We're your hosts. I'm Sybil Amuti.
And I'm Brandis Daniel.
And you guys just missed the funniest, Brandis just jacked up my whole intro a second ago. I was right in the middle, y'all. I was like, where we discuss life, love, laughter. She goes, she's doing like this pregnant girl, clear her throat type ordeal. Hilarious. We decided to do it again so we can make it really good for you guys. What's up, great girlfriends?
I know what's going on.
Man, life is good right now. We're good.
Life is good. What's going on in your world, Sybil?
Everything is going on in my world. Work is going well. I've been moving along with some fun client projects, and I got some really cool opportunities that came my way. Obviously, none of which I'm going to name, but
she never does.
Because I never do. But just some really good opportunities to work with some fun brands that I've always been a fan of. So I'm excited about that. Come December, I would say, because by now this will be November when this is out. I'll be able to talk some more about things that I'm doing in 2016. And family's good. Kwaku is amazing. Ooh, y'all, I call it a good one. I really have a great husband, and he's doing great, and my kids are awesome, and family's awesome. What about you?
I just feel real pregnant.
Yeah.
It's like, all summer I've been going here, there, and you guys probably even hear it in my voice because I feel like I sound different now.
You're a little more raspy.
Yeah, all summer has been great. We had such a great summer, and then Fashion Week came, and that was incredible. And I traveled all year, going to speak at different places, and I just kind of felt like the year was going to keep just going. And last week, Harlem's Fashion Row, we did 2 tour stops with Verizon at Howard and Hampton University. And so that was a lot of fun, but it kicked my butt. And so Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I literally slept.
You probably needed it.
I'm feeling real pregnant now. I'm not used to this feeling.
So she hasn't really fully acknowledged the level and depth of pregnancy until now. Today, I think, is when it really hit you.
Girl, it is hit.
But you've been pregnant this whole time.
I know, but it has not hit me. It has not hit me.
Others.
I'm going to ignore that, Sybil.
Everybody else has been pregnant with you.
I'm ignoring that. But for me, I am feeling it. It's like,
well, you're in the last leg. It's about to pass.
I'm in the last leg. Yeah, I got 7 weeks to go.
Man, you're doing good too. Y'all, she looks so cute. You should see, she's got, new breasts and, new butt. She has, her baby plus, couple of pounds in the back and the front. And she just looks so curvy and cute. It's
That's
just
hilarious.
Cute. And your face looks great. I was telling her, like a grandmother, I'm looking at her ankles. Her ankle's not swollen. Her face is not swollen. She's not taking in too much salt. You're doing good.
Well, thank you, Sybil.
You're doing good. We can't wait to meet the baby.
Since we got an episode today, and based on what our episode is about, all I'm gonna say is say thank you.
Good.
I'm just gonna say thank you.
I could keep going, and you won't say anything back because of today's episode. Good.
I won't say anything back. All I'm saying is thank you.
Great girlfriends, you guys have been populating our Facebook group, and wow, over this weekend we
that
pulled
was
over.
So much fun.
Yeah.
So it's great because it's like me and Sybil were talking. We feel like we're always talking, but we really want this to be a two-way conversation, and we want to hear from you guys and hear what's important to you. So if you haven't already, definitely go join our Facebook group. It's a private group. It's where we can just kind of talk and share and socialize.
Yes, it's under the Great Girlfriends, and if you are not in the group already, you can request to join or have someone else add you, and we're happy to put you in. But it's been just fun to know that there are women who actually want to connect in an authentic way, who just want to be able to get accountability from other great girlfriends and have fun together. This is going to be really great for 2016.
Oh, yes.
Because when conference hits in 2016, we're going to need y'all present and
absolutely
active. So FYI, you're going to hear a little bit of acoustic sound today because we're in a new studio, and thank you so much for being patient with our sound today. We're testing out locations.
Yes. So for this space, we want to thank Miss Leslie Waller.
Yes, Leslie, thank you. We love your crib, girl. Fantastic. So Brandis,
the topic.
What are we talking about?
So today's topic is so cool to me because it's something that we all struggle with. It's something we all need to get better with, including Sybil and I. So we're going to talk you guys through this. But as we were kind of walking through this subject, we realized that we had totally violated this whole thing, like literally as recent as last week. And so today what we're going to discuss is receiving, or how to be a great receiver.
Yes. It's a super sensitive topic for us because literally, like Brandis said, we have like a case that just hit us as great girlfriends, and we didn't know how to receive. And for those of you that are wondering, what do we mean about receiving? We mean how to take in or absorb or consume something positive or good without feeling like you owe.
Yes.
Just receiving, like a thank you or a gift.
Just when Sybil said just a little while ago, she was talking about, oh, Brandis looks so cute. My natural response was to be like, Sybil, I'm looking a hot mess right now.
Right.
Like that was like my natural response. But based on our episode today and trying to change my ways, I was just like, thank you. I just have to say thank you.
That's good. I mean, another way to look at it too is how we talk about, sowing and reaping, or giving and receiving. So a lot of us as women, especially, we become very accustomed to giving and to like continually pouring and pouring and pouring and just kind of almost dumping onto other people. We do it so generously sometimes, but when it comes time to reap or receive in return, we get awkward.
Terrible.
Yes, like me, I'll tell you, the other day I was in a conversation and I was telling Brandis, someone paid me a very high compliment and I felt like clammy and naked and like I wanted to shrivel up inside. And it almost ties into episode 11 where we talk about shrinking, but it was for whatever reason I was rejecting it. Though I loved the words and I was grateful on one side, I felt undeserving or too humble on the other side.
Lowly. You want it to be lowly.
I wanted to be lowly. And so I felt like I was repelling it. And the person even said to me, I know this is hard for you. And I was like, it is hard. But my husband and I have been doing a study, and you and I have been talking a lot about this. We spend so much time sowing. Why is it that we can't reap? Why is it that we feel like we're inadequate or that we shouldn't receive?
Right.
What is that keeps us from like just taking it in and just
absolutely
relishing in it and being grateful?
And how great could our lives be if we were great receivers?
Girl.
And I know you guys are thinking now, when we get into the examples, it's going to hit home. It's going to hit so close to home for you. Right now, you might be saying, oh, shucks, I'm going to receive if somebody wants to give to me. But we're going to see when we make it through this episode.
Yeah, so a few things that we know, and this point was major for me, is that women reject the very things they say they want the most.
Yes.
So we say we want accolades. We like for people to sort of not flatter us, but compliment our looks or, compliment our clothing or compliment us on a job we're doing, or we want a man to give into us, but we reject it in fear of what? Just not embracing it, or we reject it? Is it a fear thing, you think, or?
I don't know if it's a fear thing. I think it's us just... I don't know.
It could be we're familiar with it.
Yeah.
Like we're not accustomed to it.
Maybe so.
It feels awkward.
And you feel out of control and you feel vulnerable.
Which is, for women, sometimes an unsafe place to be in.
Absolutely.
So if it doesn't feel safe and familiar, which a lot of people, not just women, are so accustomed to being badgered or critiqued, that it's hard for us to embrace something that doesn't come with any attachments or
Yes.
like any kind of backlash.
Yes.
Right. Next point, Brandis.
I put basically false modesty is dishonesty. So we all want to pretend to be super duper modest, but it's really not honest. You know, like you spend 30 minutes getting ready. You do your makeup, you buy the best makeup to do your makeup. You spend all kind of money on it. You get ready to go out and somebody like, girl, you look flawless. And you're like, really? You think so? I don't know. I think my hair could be a little bit better. Really? You just spent 30 minutes getting ready.
And you don't leave the mirror until you know all is well.
All is well.
Like,
and you're like,
I'm out.
Exactly.
And then, that is so true. Or if I said, Brandis, your shoes are slamming, and you say,
girl, I done had these shoes for 5 years.
Really, you just killed my whole compliment. At that point, it's like this modesty where you feel like you have to minimize the value of something in exchange for it to be good enough. And it's like, why does that have to happen?
So true.
Why can't you just say thank you?
That's so true.
Yeah. And the other thing, like, we tend to contradict compliments so we don't seem arrogant.
Yes.
So it's like, I guess in women's eyes, the woman who just says thank you is this woman who already knows all these things about herself, and she feels she might be superior.
Sybil, you're beautiful.
And I say thank you. Then to the next woman, it means she thinks she all that. But what's wrong with her thinking she's all that?
Exactly.
Why can't she feel beautiful and it be okay? Exactly. Why does it have to be she's such a work in progress all the time?
So true. It's so true.
It's something that we expect that from other people. We expect you to own the fact that you're working on stuff and never accept the fact that in this moment, you are whatever I've acclaimed you to be.
It's so true.
Or if I'm giving you something in this moment that might not feel like it's equal to where you are, you reject it. For example, if I go and buy you an Hermes bag, a $20,000 bag, you'll take it. But if I had done that 5 years ago, you wouldn't have taken it. You would have pushed it and cried.
There's no way I can take this.
Yes, and I would have been like, why not?
That's
like,
so
what's
true.
stopping you from taking it?
True.
Yes.
That's true.
I actually remember, do you remember this day when I went to buy myself my first I Deserve It bag?
Yes. Look at me, I'm clapping.
You're clapping. But we went to brunch.
Yes.
That afternoon, and I was like, Brandis, come with me real quick.
And you were so nervous about buying that bag.
Yes. But why was I so
nervous? I do not know.
I bought myself my first, very expensive, it was a Prada bag. And it was a purse that I had seen in the window of the store, and I was like, I want it. And it wasn't that I didn't have the money.
You felt so guilty.
I felt guilty. And I was like, I have kids and I have all this other stuff. Like, why am I buying? I had one child at that time, but why am I buying myself this gift? Which meant I didn't even think that I qualified for it. So, guys, before I went with Brandis that day, I had passed that bag for like a week. And I was hoping. I was like, Jesus, if it's in the window, it's still for me. If it's not in the window, it wasn't for me. That's this gamble I was doing with God. And by the day that Brandis and I had brunch, it was still there. So I was like, today I'm going to get it. And I went and bought it, and I felt so good that I gifted into myself.
Yes.
I felt like, yes.
And you bring up a great point. The first person you have to be able to receive from is you.
It's you. Exactly. Yeah, no, it's true. So I thought that was interesting. And then we don't allow ourselves to enjoy praise, which is me not even being able to praise myself and say, you know what, you've done a great job on your budgeting. You've prepared yourself, and you deserve to have something if you feel like you want it. So why not move in it without rejecting it and feeling like you don't need it?
And the thing we're horrible about is somebody says, girl, I like that dress. I hate when people do this, but women do this all the time. Girl, I got this dress for $20 at Ross.
Yep.
Girl, I got this dress for $15 at TJ Maxx.
Yep.
Who asked you the cost?
Right.
And where you got it from? I just said it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Accept
Absolutely.
the compliment and keep it moving.
Accept the compliment and keep it moving. Relish in the compliment. Like, don't make this big speech about this clearance outfit that you have on when people
Right.
thought it looked like $1 million and you turned it into like a $15 thrifting.
Yes.
Yeah, I get it. Well, I think, it's one thing for it to impact us as individuals. It's one thing for it to impact our friendships where friends are like, dang, every time I say something to her, she's constantly pushing it away.
Right.
So people stop complimenting you.
Yes.
And then you feel weird. Like, dang, I haven't heard anything. Like, do I still dress okay? Or like, I feel like I am, but I'm not really sure. And then you stop getting gifts.
Yep.
Because people feel like you got everything,
Yep.
or you don't like gifts.
So true.
You don't like them because you act like, oh, you shouldn't have, and you start saying all the other stuff, and so they stop. But what about those relationships?
What kind of men, women?
Yeah. What about with your relationship with your significant other, and
Yeah.
he wants to give you everything,
And you won't accept it.
and you won't accept it.
And what's crazy is that's what we say we want. We say we want all these different things, but when a man goes to open our door, we're like, oh, I got it. When a man goes to get the check every time, we're like, oh, no, you got the check the last few times. I'll get this one.
Like y'all buddies.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
he's not courting you if y'all switching on checks. Like he's not dating you.
When he's getting you gifts and goodies and all that stuff, and you're just like, this is too much. It's okay.
Right. And even for me in intimacy, I found myself saying, wait, not too much, or this is too far, or going to, I found myself, Kwaku having to push through walls sometimes to get to connect with me in a more intimate way because I felt like he shouldn't be doing X, Y, and Z. That's too much. It's just too much. Well, where's all this intimacy, the modesty, and intimacy coming from?
I have no idea.
I don't know. Here's what I say it stems from. Well, you said, which I thought was great.
Well, the need to control.
The need to control a situation.
We want to control the situation. When somebody's like giving and giving and giving you something, you feel so out of control. So our way to control it is to figure out how can I give you something too, so that we don't even playing ground. So it's like the score is like 1-1, 5-5, 10-10. But why are we taking score?
Why are we tallying? I don't understand, but it's something that mentally I've done it with people because then I want to feel like I don't owe you anything at this point. Or you can't say that I didn't give to you in return.
Right.
Because we feel like there's like an exchange that has to take place.
Right.
And it's not quite that way. Or I think also like conditioning from your childhood or your family structure, because in my family, my parents are very humble, and my mom in particular is probably compulsive around giving. Like she is a giver.
Wow.
She gives. She's a servant and she's a giver. And my dad has always been a giver to us. And every time we try to give my dad a gift, he's like, you shouldn't have spent it. You shouldn't have bought it. I didn't need that. We could be buying him socks in elementary school for Christmas gifts, and he needs socks, and he would say no. Just this whole false humility that we take on. But as a result, I walked into adulthood conditioning myself to not need to receive from people. When it's not about need sometimes. It's about allowing a gift to come to you.
Right.
It's not necessarily based on what your needs are.
That's so true.
So that was something that I dealt with.
And then sometimes it's about insecurities. So our insecurities won't allow us to receive. So for example, I grew up with a huge gap in between my front teeth, which right now, honestly, what I wouldn't do to get that gap back, because that'll be my signature mark. Right. But then it was a big thing for me. People always talked about my gap. So if I remember a guy walked up to me, if I'm not mistaken, it was an African guy, and talked about how beautiful my teeth were. I wasn't even able to accept that. So I think sometimes when we have these kind of insecurities around our bodies or insecurities around different areas in our lives, maybe we didn't complete college and somebody tells us, how smart we are, but we won't accept that compliment because in our head we feel all this insecurity around not completing college.
It's true, because I remember after Sam was born, and I worked hard to lose that baby weight, right? I mean, like, I really did go in on it. But I still had this extra little, like, rubble that that it was hard to shake. And when people would say, man, you lost that baby weight, or snatch back X, Y, and Z, I'm like, quit it. Stop playing. Y'all just trying to be nice to make me feel good about myself, because I knew about that rubble, and I was
nobody else knew.
But you didn't, in my head, everyone saw it, and they were just trying to give me like a courtesy compliment to make me feel good.
Tell me how to lose that baby weight.
We're going to go through that. But even now, this is so funny. Even now, it makes me think about it. If you go to my bio on the Great Girlfriends website, I even say somewhere on there that I have like this little stubborn belly fat.
You do?
Baby fat. I do. I acknowledge it so nobody else can I do. It's instead of like owning the fact that I've overcome so much of the weight that I put on, because I got really big when I had both my kids. I want to acknowledge the insecurities,
which is so crazy. It blocks tiny.
It blocks the idea that I can receive you saying, "Man, you really lost all that weight." But it's true.
Yeah.
Insecurity. The other thing that I think is so important is like our spiritual perspective, really our relationship with God, and whether or not we receive the fact that God's love is unconditional, and it has nothing to do with what we look like, what we've been through, our accolades, our accomplishments.
Absolutely.
Like, it weighs on none of that. It is strictly about us being his children.
And that's a tough one.
It's tough.
Because depending on how you grew up, I don't know, Great Girlfriends, those of you who grew up in church, sometimes the wrath of God is taught so much that the love of God isn't taught.
Yeah.
And so I remember, literally, it was just years ago that I've really kind of started to learn how to accept that love.
Yeah.
It's still a struggle for me because that wasn't how I grew up.
Yeah.
I grew up really learning about like, don't do this and don't do that. And,
or the consequence.
Or the consequence that was going to happen behind that. And so, not truly embracing, now I think about just how much I already love this baby.
Yeah.
Like how much I already love this child. And our love can't even begin to compare to the love that God has for us. We really can't comprehend it. But this process of going through the pregnancy has made me experience love in a different type of way.
Yeah, it's true. And when you go back to that, we are going to have to do an episode on whether or not God loves us. Like, we're going to cover that, because when you go back to that, and we're so accustomed to the idea that it's merit-based, like that we have to qualify ourselves by how good we are, and how many charitable things we do, and whether or not we obey him. And that also gives us the idea that we can be rejected by him.
Right.
Which means that when it comes time to receive from other people, period, it's easy to reject the idea that we deserve it. And that's like the core of whether or not we actually can receive from anyone, is whether or not we receive from God.
Wow.
Yeah.
Drops mic.
But it's true. So let's get into the symptoms of a bad receiver.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
Yeah, we feel like there's like some key qualities that let you know whether or not you're good or bad at receiving. So let's hit them.
So when we call out one and you feel real guilty, just say ouch.
You be in your car, in your office, you can be at the gym, just say ouch. Ouch.
Okay, so when you think that people have done just too much for you, when you go, guys, now this is just too much. I really appreciate it, but this was just too much. You didn't have to do all of this.
My mama, well, I'm going to say my mom, I'm going to take that back, but plenty of her friends, people in that age bracket, tend to say, y'all doing too much.
Yeah.
Y'all knowing good and well they want their retirement party. Y'all doing, this is just too much. Y'all shouldn't have.
Yes. Right?
Or when you receive something and you feel obligated to give something in return.
Oh, yes.
Have you ever had somebody, this is the perfect season for it too, come over your house with a Christmas gift and you didn't have one for them?
Yes.
And you got to go dig or not, but
Right.
a lot of times people will go dig something under the tree and take a tag and replace it and give it to a person because they feel bad.
That's so
because
true.
that person thought of them and, it wasn't reciprocated.
That's so true. I mean, Christmas time is like the worst time.
It's the worst
for this.
time. Yes.
Because you're like, oh my God, they're getting me a gift. I didn't know they would get me a gift.
I would've
mean,
got you something.
No, you're like, I didn't have it in my budget to get them something. I should have just told them don't get me anything.
Right.
As a matter of fact, a lot of people say, look, don't get me anything.
Right.
Because I don't have the money to give this year. But what does you not having the money to give have to do with people giving to you?
Nothing. Has nothing. But we somehow equate the two as like, if I can't do for you, you can't do for me. Or, if you have an outfit on and you feel the need to exchange compliments. So I say, girl, you are wearing that dress. And then you say,
girl, but look at your shoes.
and we go back and forth head to toe. That means we're bad at receiving.
That's so true.
We're bad at it.
That's so true. Or this is a good one: tabs at breakfast or dinner. I am infamous for
Ouch.
this. I'm ouch. So when you're at breakfast and somebody say, "No, I got it," you're like,
Yeah.
"Girl, no."
Yeah.
They be like, "No, I got it." No, let's just split it. Girl, I got it. All right, I'll get the next
You
time.
paid the last time.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because my biggest thing is like, okay, fine, go ahead, but I'm going to get us the next time.
Right.
And literally, I have kept a tab in my head.
See?
And I'm like, okay, she got it the last time, I'm getting it this time.
Ouch. I'm bad for it. I am.
I'm horrible for it.
I am. Or when you cringe at compliments or warm words and you minimize them. So like if someone says publicly, I want to thank Brandis for being such a groundbreaker in fashion and for being a trailblazer and pioneering for minorities in fashion, and Brandis sitting over there getting embarrassed or ashamed or feeling
And
like
I do.
You do. So I say ouch.
Ouch. Because immediately what I'm going to do?
What?
I'm going to
Turn it
say,
around.
no, immediately I'm going to redirect. So
Right,
my
right.
thing is, I'm going to say, I appreciate that, but nothing I've done is groundbreaking.
Oh.
I'm gonna be like, really, the groundbreaker was Lois Alexander Lane. That's what I would do. Like, that's immediately,
Yeah.
that is how I would respond.
I do the same thing. I'll point to the team. I'll say, you know what? It wasn't me. I had a great team that helped me, or we worked together on this, or actually, it wasn't that big of a deal. And it's horrible. Horrible, because then you look back and you're like, I didn't get an award. I didn't get an accomplishment. I don't have the accolades that I feel like I deserved in this area. But anyway.
That's terrible. Or when you devalue gifts or compliments, which we kind of talked on, So I talk about Sybil. Those glasses are so cute.
Girl, I got these for $150 from Warby Parker. And for every pair you buy, they give a pair. So I stopped buying designer glasses, and now I only buy Warby Parker. I do that every time.
Hey, I know you
Ouch. And I feel like I'm doing a good thing because I'm supporting Warby Parker, but I'm minimizing the idea that my glasses could be equally as valuable as the Prada ones or the ones I had from last, Louis or whatever.
It's so true.
All right, so let's get into the signs of a good receiver.
Yes.
All right, the first one is a person who's fulfilled and has a life that's full according to their own measure, which means basically whether or not a person ever compliments or ever gives, I am already fully aware that I don't have to deserve what I receive, that giving to me is just something that people can do without any kind of merit tied to it.
Ooh, that's hard.
No merit tied to it, just because.
I'm like silent on that one.
Just because.
That's tough.
I know. But when you get to that just because place, it's so good because you can just like marvel in the fact.
Because the thing is this, I love to give just because.
Right.
We all love to give just because.
Yeah.
But can we receive just because?
That's where that God's love comes in.
Yeah.
It's just because. And when you connect to that just because love,
yes.
when you receive on that just because level, it makes it equally as great.
Wow.
Yeah.
Another sign of a good receiver is someone who has great relationships with deep intimacy, which is also tough.
Ouch.
Because that means that people know you on a much deeper level than surface.
Yeah.
They know the good, the bad, and the ugly, and you allow yourself to be seen that way.
Yeah.
So you're so comfortable with just being you at all times that you're okay with receiving because you don't have those insecurities around receiving.
And you know what else it means too, Brandis? If someone buys you something that speaks to an insecurity, it doesn't make you defensive. So, for example, you know, if I was overweight and someone bought me a cookbook with healthy recipes, I don't get defensive.
Wow.
Because I'm not so caught up on the idea that my weight is holding me back from receiving. Instead, I'm just saying that's a great recipe book I can't wait to try.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So if someone bought you a pair of
true.
designer shoes, you don't think that they bought them because your shoes are inferior.
That's so true.
They just bought you designer shoes just because.
That's
right?
so true. That's so true.
Isn't it true? The other thing is like not being afraid of vulnerability and being able to say, you know, it's hard for me to receive. It's hard for me to receive because I didn't grow up receiving comfortably. So when I receive, I feel awkward. And that means when it comes time for you to give to me, you know this and you give to me and we can walk through my receiving process together. For example, when you went back to that time we went to Zara and you kept trying to be like, no.
Yeah.
No. You went through that no song and I'm like, come on, let's go together. Let's go together.
That was so hard.
Let's do it together.
Yeah.
Let's do it together.
Yeah.
Let's swap a sale item for a full price item just because, right? Let's do it together.
That was so hard.
We're going to do it together and there's no judgment. There's no consequence. There's no like anything.
Yeah.
Let's do it together. It's an exercise. And that's when
so
you're
true.
vulnerable with people, you can go through those exercises together.
It's so true.
Right?
And the thing is, we miss out on so many amazing blessings when we don't receive.
Yeah.
So many things that we want in our lives, we push away.
Yeah.
Because we don't know how to receive them.
It's true.
And that's on all levels. It's on very small levels to like, you know, maybe I don't have paper, you know, and you give me paper to, you know, something like clothes. I don't have certain clothes to relationships. Like it's like we are so bad at receiving that we push away the very things that we want.
Except on our jobs. Let somebody come with a promotion that's less than what we think we deserve, right? It's merit based.
But you know what, Sybil? I'm going to even argue with you on that one.
Why?
Because when people come to you with when there's a big promotion opportunity that we've been saying we want to be promoted, we want to be promoted, we want to be promoted, and this opportunity comes, we don't say, okay, let me go for that opportunity. Or if somebody says, Sybil, I think you'd be great for that. A lot of times we'll say, if it's bigger than what we think we deserve, we will say,
But if you
That's
get
a
a
bit
review
much.
and they're talking about giving you less than what you think you deserve
That's
on a
true.
review,
That's
you be
true.
like, well, I worked my butt off.
That's true.
X, Y, and Z, all that merit-based stuff. So you're right. If we don't feel like we qualify, it's always qualifying.
Yeah.
For it. Okay, so let's go to our number 4 of our signs of good receiver, Brandis. What's that
Which is
one?
someone who automatically feels gratitude when they receive. So instead of, sometimes as soon as you receive, you feel insecure, you feel insufficient, you feel like all of these horrible, you cringe. But somebody who, as soon as somebody gives them something, they feel gratitude, that is a sign of a good receiver.
Right. No, it's true. And I mean, even when you think about it, sometimes we measure if a person of a certain caliber gives me something, it's better than if a person on my level gives me something. So if Oprah gives me a gift, I have so much honor that Oprah gave me a gift. Because Oprah's going to give me a gift one day. And you, right?
Yes.
So let's just mark this moment that we said it. But it means no more than if one of our great girlfriends sends us a gift. It's
That's
equally
so
as
true.
great because we feel grateful just because.
Right.
Not any honor because we measure one person greater than another.
That's so true.
So good receivers know not to measure people.
That's
Don't
so
measure the
true.
gift. And don't measure it and create an honor out of it.
That's a great one, because if the CEO comes and gives you a candle, you're like, oh my God, the CEO came and gave me a candle.
So it must be a good candle, huh?
Versus your coworker who's on your same level giving you a candle, you're like, that's nice. That's so true, Sybil.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, it is true. So you guys have those 4 signs of a good receiver. So now we're going to get into how to get better at receiving. We have 5 very practical ways to get better at receiving.
Let me do this number 1.
Go for it.
Stop being lowly.
Ouch.
Ouch. Like, who does that help?
I know.
They're
It doesn't
so
help anyone.
whack. It's so whack. Own your gifts and stop pulling yourselves backwards by rejecting where you are now and what's available to you now.
That's true.
Stop downplaying your gifts and your talents and just publicly step into your capabilities.
That's true. Own it.
Own it.
Be the bomb and own it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then number 2 is to give to yourself first, right?
Yeah.
So finding a way to like spiritually, mentally, and physically take time for your own pleasure every day so you can avoid neediness and then make a way for generosity in your own life. I think that's a big one.
That's a huge one.
Yeah.
Because we wake up giving.
Yeah. No, seriously.
And we wake up taking away from ourselves.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Getting on social media as soon as you wake up, that's taken away from yourself.
Yep. And ultimately, if we are so, if we are sort of emptied out in terms of our giving to ourselves, if we don't nurture that, there's a void there.
That's so true.
And if there's a void there, then the gifts that I give to you fill that void instead of putting an overflow. So it's very important that we, if we want to be good at receiving, we have to be content. We have to have a sense of fulfillment that comes from knowing that we've given ourselves enough and that we have enough abundance internally. That way we don't rely on other people.
That is so true. And women, we are horrible with it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say ouch on that one.
Yeah.
Because it's just tough. Sometimes you wake up and you feel like you have things to do, but when I do wake up and really pour into me, my day is totally different.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Number 3.
So number 3 is accept grace in your life. Ooh, and I love this one. It's a gift and you don't have to work for everything. Relax and release grace so that you can liberally receive.
It's so true.
Yeah. And I think that's a real big one. We are so hard on ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we're hard on ourselves than anybody else could be on us.
Yeah.
And what that does is we're like taking away from ourselves. And
absolutely.
I don't know. It brings about anxiety.
It does. It really does. It's pressure to feel like you have to continue to work for something.
Yes.
We got to get unchurched around that.
Yes.
You have to lose that religious idea that we have to work for it.
Yes.
And just consistently earn it.
Yes.
Very good. Number 4 is to become aware of the gifts that are being offered to you without merit and practice receiving them.
And that's on a daily basis.
That's daily. That's daily. That's waking up. That's breathing. That's having eyes to see, ears to hear, a mouth to speak from, hands, feet. Yep. Those are all gifts.
Absolutely.
Those are gifts, and we have to be consistently in remembrance of the fact that these are gifts.
It's so true.
We don't deserve these things. God gifted these things to us.
And we don't have to have them.
We don't have to have them. And they can be taken away.
And they can be taken away.
So we should be grateful every single day that we have them and then practice receiving them.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And the last one is practice just saying thank you without any additional response.
Good one.
Everybody say ouch.
Ouch.
That is a tough one, ladies. And actually, I'm going to let that be your homework. Because somebody's going to give you a compliment today or tomorrow or this week. And I just want you to say thank you.
Not where I got it from.
Nope.
Not what kind of deal I got on this outfit or.
Don't downplay it.
Not any of that. Just say thank you.
Just say thank you.
I got that.
That's it.
We could do that.
That's it.
All right, let's recap. So our 5 tips on how to get better at receiving. Number 1.
Stop being lowly.
That's right. Number 2.
Give to yourself first.
Number 3.
Accept grace in your life.
God has been good. Hallelujah. Number 4.
Become cognizant of the gifts being offered to you without merit and practice receiving them.
Number 5.
Practice just saying thank you without any additional response.
Brandis, you're amazing.
Thank you, Sybil.
You're welcome. Can I say you're welcome?
You can
Is that
say you're
cool?
welcome.
Okay. Awesome.
You do know that you gave me the compliment, not the other way around.
I know, right?
Crazy.
But you should have given me one back, but you can't.
I can't. I just say thank you. You see that? You want one back?
I'm messing with you. All right, ladies, we are done with this week's episode. And I'm just going to say, if you have not listened to Work-Life Balance, Can We Have It All?
Oh, that's a great one.
Check it out.
Yes.
It's so good. We want to know whether or not you think you can achieve harmony in your life.
Absolutely.
And you really need to go dig that one up. And I want to tell you one more of my favorites that I think you should listen to this week. If you haven't listened to No More Shrinking, or if you have, listen to it again.
That
it's gonna
was
be
so
key.
good. That was so raw.
It was
I'll
so
never forget
good.
that.
But I really think it's going to be such a great gateway for 2016.
Yes.
And it's going to help you prepare for all of the success and all of the open doors and all the opportunities that come your way in 2016 and how to walk into them.
And part of not being a good receiver is because we shrink.
Absolutely. See, it all ties together.
It all ties together.
It does.
Yeah.
Well,
we
hopefully
got
you guys
strategy. We got strategy.
We got strategy. Well, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this time with us today. So we want to thank all of our husbands. We go here with all these husbands.
Thank you, Rich.
Thank you, Kwaku.
It's our families and oh my God, did I say? Oh, I didn't say that my family had come here for Thanksgiving.
You did
which
not.
is amazing. But
Yes, they did.
We'll talk about that in the next episode.
Yes, but thank you to all
Thank
to our
our
families.
and to our great girlfriends.
Yes, for trusting us as your go-to source for everything life, love, and laughter.
Remember to check us out on Instagram,
The Great Girlfriends,
Twitter,
_Great GFS,
Facebook,
The Great Girlfriends,
and tell all your friends to visit our website at
www.thegreatgirlfriends.com. Visit our website, Facebook page,
Twitter,
Instagram,
post your questions,
share with friends,
keep listening,
and keep being a great girlfriend. I'm Sybil.
I'm Brandis.
We're signing off.
Bye, ladies.
Bye.